Can you go whitewater rafting with Crohn's disease? I did. And I'd like to tell you about a particular moment of that day. We were on the raft on the river for a while, and we pulled over on the bank to have lunch. And the guide gathers us around and he says, this is our bathroom break as well as our lunch break if you need to. And if for number one, just find a private spot, get it taken care of. A lot of us have had to do that in our life. It's not the biggest deal. But then he takes a square box out of the raft about the size of a milk crate. It's plastic lined. He holds it up and he says, for anything else, you have to use this. And then he pauses and he says, preferably not. Because they have to pack that box back onto the raft and take it with them. So you take the box somewhere private, but then you have to carry it back with everybody knowing exactly what it was and put it on the raft. This sends a little panic vibe through me, and I am not gonna use that box. But 26 years of living with Crohn's, I know about bathroom anxiety, and that certainly gave me that. But before I get into the outcome of that, let me tell you a little bit more about that day. Welcome back to Digestible Dialogues. I am Sherry Lip. I am the founder of Happy Gut for Life, and I have been living with Crohn's disease for 26 years now. And I'm going to tell you my whitewater rafting story after a question came up. Can people with Crohn's do this? So absolutely, I think people with Crohn's disease can do lots of experiences. It's going to be kind of up to you to decide what you want to do. For me and my husband, it was just something that was like we were on a trip to Moab, and kind of a spur of the moment, which feeds into this story, we decided to go whitewater rafting. Sounds fun, bucket list thing. So we sign up and get on the bus and head out. No prep. So we're on the water. It's beautiful. It's great. And I am not thinking about that whole bathroom situation until that box. It wasn't so much that it was the box, although I certainly did not want to use it. It was the preferably not. Him saying that gave me the most anxiety, because not only are you in this very uncomfortable situation, but now I know that they're going to be mad. They're not going to be happy, at least, if you have to use that box. And so now I'm like, I don't want to create the problem. I don't want this very super embarrassing situation. So if you're going to go whitewater rafting, I definitely encourage you to think that part of it through, depending where you're at. On top of that, there is the food situation. Like I said, I didn't have anything. We were already on a road trip. I didn't really have much with me at that point. Anyway, I brought some stuff, but we were well into the trip. I had used up a lot of the stuff I had brought, and I was kind of relying on stuff I could buy at the grocery store or get at a restaurant that fit what I was eating. I was on a CD diet, but it was much earlier on. I wasn't feeling as confident as I do now. So we're stopped for lunch. They kind of set up, they have a little table of some kind that was on the raft. And so they set up, it's like a build your own sandwich bar. A lot of the places I've seen now have, this says barbecue lunch, but this was sandwiches. Pretty decent. It was like good quality stuff, which was good because I was able to throw together, I had some lettuce, some tomatoes, some cheese. They had good quality cheese. It wasn't just processed cheese. I put together a little lettuce wrap with cheese, and I had some fruit. So it was something. It was not bad. I couldn't have the chips and the cookies and the granola bars that everybody else was having, but it was something. And brings me to an important point about outdoors. I see sometimes people say they will skip food. I do not recommend doing that when you're going to be doing something outside, especially if you're going to be exerting energy. Of course, we were on the raft, we had paddles, but also in the heat. In the desert, you are not going to feel the dry heat. It's a real thing. It's very different. It's more comfortable than the very humid heat, but you also don't realize that you're overheating quite as quickly as you do when you're in the humidity. You can overheat without quite realizing it. And from personal experience, I can tell you on another trip where we were hiking this in the same area. We were going on a fairly short hike. It was 2 to 3 miles. So I thought I would just have a very light breakfast. I think I had an all-fruit smoothie and headed out on the hike. That was not enough. It was hot and it was enough exertion. 2 or 3 miles is not nothing. And so I had left my snacks in the car. I had plenty of water, luckily. But as we're heading back, I start to feel the effects of the heat. I got headache. I started getting nausea. And I'm really feeling kind of woozy. And I'm like, this is not good. Luckily, we were pretty close to the car. So I made it back to the car. But I'm really not feeling well. And but I had my snacks. The snacks were in the car, luckily. So I don't know why I left them in the car. I could have carried it. I don't know I don't know why I did that. But I had my snacks that I had with me. I had some fruit and nut bars, which was good because it was fat and calories all at once. And so I ate that and I immediately felt better. So I do not recommend you go without eating because you're worried about your stomach. And not eating does not guarantee that you're not going to have to go to the bathroom. It's just the way it is. So, nourish yourself, especially if you're going to be out in the elements and exerting energy and in the heat. You need food. So I had my food. I was nervous. I had it pretty early just so I was like, well, I don't want to use that box, but I definitely don't want to have something happen while we're on the water. What are you going to do? That kind of anxiety kicked in a little bit because I realized that I am out there and there's nowhere to go. You just gotta go with whatever happens. On these trips, I have learned now that, I'm looking at it, kind of reviewing what it's like, looking at packages now. There's a lot more options. So there was as little as 1 hour on the water now when I was looking at the packages they offer, 1 to 2 hours, no lunch, half day, full day. So if you want to get out there and you're not feeling comfortable, too confident, 1 hour will get you out on the river and you'll have fun, or 2 hours, and you don't have to worry about lunch or anything like that. So that could be an option. So there's also the full day, and then there's a multi-day trips if you're very adventurous. But my thing was that I was in that situation where it was just me and my husband and then a group of strangers. So I didn't have any comfort level whatsoever. Nobody knew my situation. Nobody knew anything about me. I was so determined I'm not going to have to use that box. The other thing I would recommend is that you can call and say, can I bring my own food to put in the coolers so that you have a lunch. So if you're in a situation not like me where I didn't have any food to bring, but maybe I could have arranged it and brought something, found something at the store. I didn't think of it. And it was a spontaneous trip. But you could probably make some arrangements to have some food of your own brought with you. See what they're having and see if it fits what you eat. But yeah, see if you can bring something it's very wet. You can't just put something in your pocket. I was totally soaked. My shoes got ruined. I had to throw them out. My clothes were all wet. And I think some people wear bathing suits. So yeah, you can't just put food in your pocket. You got to ask them to stow it for you. I will say I was determined not to use that box. I didn't. Thankfully, I did not have to use that box. I had a great time on the river. I would love to know, have you been rafting? Was it kind of a similar experience? The reason for the box is there's environment. It wasn't just that outfitter. There's environmental regulations, and you pack out that kind of waste because it contaminates the environment. I would love to know, did you have the same experience? Is it the same in other parts of the country? And what kind of adventures have you had with Crohn's disease or IBD? Or are you thinking about it? So let me know. I'd love to know in the comments what your adventures have been with Crohn's disease. Thank you so much for listening or watching, and I will see you in the next one.